So joining us now is Gary Jansen to talk about one of his many books, and this is a great one, and we love the cover. I was talking to Gary before the show. Saints, Angels, and Demons. Thank you so much for being with us, Gary. As Catholics, we know it's wise to learn about the saints and the angels, but why should we learn about demons?
Oh, you're starting there. Okay.
Oh, yeah, no, I don't.
That's
Listen, I go right to it.
that's right to it. Well, there's an edict somewhere. I think someone wise said, it's good to know who your enemies are, right? And so part of the reason why I included demons in this book is one, I don't think it's ever been done before. There's been books on saints and then books on angels and demons, but never the three together. So you have three spiritual realities all in one book. And so as much as I loved working on the saints part, the demons part was really interesting because I really got to know a little bit more of my biblical history and how demons relate to humans. So it was that was a pretty fascinating part of the research.
I bet it was. And Gary, beautiful cover, by the way. The artwork is just
Oh,
gorgeous. And the layout, the font, I mean, I'm into all that stuff. But in working on the book, was there for you a particular saint that you felt a connection to?
oh, absolutely. So it was Saint Teresa of Avila. So I got to work on this over I should say a rather short period of time. So it was a lot of reading and a lot of quick reading. But the one who really stood out for me during this process was really Saint Teresa of Avila. And I think that was compounded because I got to visit her where she lived and got to see her cell and got to see the chair that Saint John of the Cross sat on to hear to hear her confession. And so the that was pretty important. I'm a big fan of the mystics, and Saint Teresa. It just her books, The Interior Castle, have so much to say. And this is a woman who lived in a convent. You could say that she didn't do a lot. She sat around and prayed, but that is a big, massive thing. And to read her books, you see what a life you can live just in terms of your imagination. You don't have to go far. You don't have to travel far. You can have this amazing life, just kind of like where you are, being present and being present with God's presence. So,
Well, of course, Bishop would ask about, which are the saints you like. I'm going to ask the demons. Was there a demon, not that you liked, but that you looked at and said, oh my goodness?
so there is a Zoroastrian demon that that people believed, at least in the 20th century, is a technology demon.
Oh,
And so, meaning that it's the demon who kind of influences technology. So, with kind of the rise in social media and the rise of our dependence on technology, seeing some of the things that were written in the 19th century and 20th century about this demon really was kind of shocking and surprising. And so that was fascinating. So that demon's name was Aramin. And again, a Zoroastrian demon, popped up in the Middle East, but then folks were kind of investigating this in the 19th, 20th century.
So, how did you, obviously, you haven't included every saint, angel, and demon in there because we don't actually know who they all are, but how did you decide which saints, angels, and demons to include in your book?
Oh, so part of it was just reading through a bunch of different books on saints. So I picked my favorites. So obviously Saint Francis, Padre Pio, but really trying to find a eclectic group of saints from around the world. So we tried to investigate the saints in Asia and South America and Africa. And I'm not going to give anything away for later on, but there's an important saint featured in the book who's the patron saint of human trafficking. So we cover really well inside. I think we cover well inside the book, and so yeah. So it was really just kind of a mixture of those saints I loved, but also trying to investigate who are the saints around the world that had influence in those parts of the world, and that we could learn more about here in the States.
we were talking Wednesday about your book, and we're talking about the importance of it. We're also talking about the cover and the illustrations, and a lot of times in books it's secondary, but for you, you guys put a lot of thought into this, Gary, especially for the cover.
Oh, absolutely. So, I mean, one of the big reasons why I wanted to do this was to really create an accessible book that was beautifully illustrated, beautifully designed. So, one, it could sit on your coffee table, it could be on your bedstand, And it could also be an heirloom or something that folks can share with their families. And so, in many ways, it is kind of a family's book of saints and angels and demons too. But it was really that was such a conscious decision. We put a lot of time and a lot of effort into each page and to the beautiful color illustrations by Katie Ponder. She did an amazing job. So there's a lot of symbolism in there. We're really kind of, if you're into symbolism, there's a lot of Easter eggs inside the book.
Well, along with the great content, it is a beautiful book. It's going to look great on my bookshelf. But since we booked you for this interview, you've already written, I hear, yet another work. It's called The Healing Power of Praying the Rosary, which we're big into here at Catholic TV. It comes out February 18th. Can you tell us about this new book?
Yes, I literally just got this in the mail yesterday from the printer. So, so it's The Healing Power of Praying the Rosary, and really I wanted to focus on how prayer and meditation can help heal us mentally, spiritually, and physically. And what's really exciting about, and what I include in here is, over the last 10 years, there's been a lot of research on the medical side on the power or how meditation and prayer can help our health and really can help kind of like reduce stress and can have really positive effects on inflammation in our body. So not only, I look at the rosary as like a form of adoration, right? So we're in the presence of Jesus. So we get that spiritual benefit, but also learning to pray in certain ways and learning to use this tool, this wonderful tool that we have of prayer. We can actually reduce stress, and when we reduce stress, I think we just become more efficient Catholics, more efficient Christians, more efficient human beings. When we're less stressed, I think we can do better for the world. So I'm so super excited about both books. Super excited to kind of share all that information, especially about the power of prayer and the power of meditation.
Gary, where can people get a copy of the book?
Oh, at bookstores and Amazon, BarnesandNoble.com, anywhere books are sold.
And we invite everyone to stick around until the end of the show to find out how they can win a copy of Saints, Angels, and Demons. But we thank you so much because we'll do this at the end. Gary, thanks for being with us, and as always, it's great. You probably wrote a book during this interview, so we'll talk about that next time. Gary, have a great day.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Bye.